Well, hello, hello, hello. This is Happy Valley Hobbies, and these are hobbies that make me happy. Uh, Apparently had to reload the page and all that because of no, nothing was showing up for accessories or cameras and stuff like that. So it's like, oh. So a quick refresh of the page and all that, and things are theoretically uh, working. Uh, right now, apparently there's no one in the chat, but that's okay. I'm not that far off of what I normally get on. Says that there's three people in here, so I know who two are. One is obviously what I'm being here, and Rail Artist is the second one. Thank you for coming in, and I would have to say the third person is well on here. So I wind up, I guess, cheating a little bit using the phone as another one. Oh, there's Andy from this morning. I caught the tail. I guess I caught the tail end of his show this morning. Uh, I believe it's near midnight where he is at. Uh, but yeah, it's also thank you for the reminder, Andy, for that. I forgot to, you know, actually put in StreamYard saying that hey, schedule something. So thank you for that. Um, I would have completely forgotten about. Well, I wouldn't have completely forgotten about it, but I wouldn't had scheduled this morning, so it wouldn't had time to go through the algorithm uh, uh, to be uh, to be scheduled, and also to let people know that hey, yes, there's a thing going to be on there. Well, hello there, Valleys. Thank you for coming in. Um, so yes, at this point, let more people wander in that want to wander in. Um, but I would have to say things at work has going to be interesting. Found out, well, I'm believe I'm towards the end of my contract with JJ Young. So there's the possibility of hey, we want you as a real employee, and then apparently go on to the working at a temp agency. You're on a probation period basically, and then apparently once you get hired on, you're on another probation period. It's like like I'm looking at it this way of going like, wait, you haven't figured out that you want me as an employee after you know what was it now? I think it's 170 hours or something along those lines. They didn't. Oh, excuse me. I thought it was like after 90 days, but it's like after whatever that is in hours, and plus since there was, I got hired on 1 week before Thanksgiving, so Thanksgiving didn't count. Black Friday didn't count because they weren't open. They're not open for Black Friday. Then they weren't open for Christmas. Weren't open for um, New Year's. It's like so all these holidays and all that. It's like oh well, it keeps on getting pushed back. And I think I'm towards the end now. Um, but haven't contacted. I haven't been contacted saying that hey, let's start the paperwork. But at the same time, they do have things where they show up job positions that are open, And one of the things that I found out Friday, which was too late to contact anybody to say, hey, what can I do here? Was a shipping position in the same facility. Now, the pay rate is higher, but since it's first shift, um, I don't get the dollar an hour extra for that. So it's one of those things of, but at the same time, I know they have some concerns that I'm not fast enough. So I don't know what the metrics are for shipping, but I'm assuming it's not as per piece and all that, because there's times when when you're doing shipping and receiving, there's times that you're sort of waiting. It's like uh, you can have everything ready to be loaded onto a truck, but if the truck's not there, you got to wait for the truck to get there, and then you have to like rush to get whatever parts on or off or whatever. And the same thing is with the manufacturing. I'm not sure if the warehouse is in. I don't know if warehouse is a different position. I don't know. It might be combined. I know I know for the last full-time place I worked at, they had warehouse and they had shipping and receiving, two different things. So I don't know if these are two different things or it's combined into one. I'm leaning towards it might be two, mainly because I know with they have what's called utility, which is going to the warehouse and bringing stuff to from the warehouse to where it needs to be on the production line. But I don't know if the opposite is true also, because I think utility also takes it off the production line, puts it in the warehouse, but I don't know if warehouse, if they bring it onto the dock to be put in or out, or I'm not quite sure. Oh, hello there. I'm going to get this name wrong. Devraj? Okay, Davey. You're Divvy. But yeah, it's so this job position is it's not per piece. But whereas where I'm at now is sort of on the production line. It's like how many pieces have you done per shift, and a lot of times that I'm not making what they call rate. But the good thing is I'm also not getting many rejections, from my understanding. So that's a good thing. That's why they haven't got rid of me right now, because they're I'm more. I guess even though I'm slow, I'm predictable, and they like to be able to predict of how many parts are out, even though it's not what they want for rates. There is somebody that a coworker of mine that pretty much during the early part of the shift they sort of kind of slack off, and then towards the end they're like rushing like a mad dog trying to catch up, basically. And the thing is that they do things that they're not supposed to do, like towards the end of the day they might work through break and all that, and They're like, no, you can't work through break. But they're doing their best to, keep, instead of starting at a decent pace, so they wouldn't have to rush at the end of the night. Unfortunately, it's hello there, James. Thank you for coming in. That's how they have the attitude, I'm going to do it my way, and that it's caused friction at times. There was one time that we can get a lot more pieces in this one box and all that. So, and it was a the part was big. It required two people to move the part. I mean, if it wasn't for that fact, you could do it by yourself. But these are, if I remember correctly, I want to say they were doors to something that was about the size of a refrigerator. It wasn't a refrigerator door, but it was the same size. It's very awkward, for one person to do it. But they went and said, we can get more boxes in there. And the thing is that, so we got more in a box, which meant there were less boxes. So when they did the counting of the boxes and all that, it's like, oh my God, they only did this much and all that, not realizing that the boxes were overstuffed. And they did things of, we'll cross out how much is in the box, and then we'll write what the correct number is, that's what you're supposed to do if it has the wrong number of pieces. But then they would also turn around and they scratched out the barcode, so you couldn't scan it and go like, it's like, oh, okay, no barcode is there, because it has the wrong number. But they did not. It's one of those things of it caused a lot of unnecessary panic in basically the front office, because they were like going like, we're promised this much and all that, we only got this much. But when they found out what would happen, it actually wound up being more correctly for what they were asking for. And some of my coworkers are worried about that this person might not be working for much longer because of this attitude and not making rate, or not consistently making rate. And I'm at the same. I'm also at the same point of like, well, if they're not making rate, I'm not making rate, so they might not actually hire me on. However, as I said before, a new position has shown up for shipping and receiving, which I've done before. I've looked at some of the qualifications. It looks like I'm qualified for it. I also know I actually know some of the truck drivers that come go to the place. In fact, one of them actually turned around and realized who I was and says, "Oh, by the way, the guy that you trained to replace you, he's no longer working at the place anymore." And I'm thinking, I'm not surprised. Mainly because the only reason why he's in Vermont is because his girlfriend's going to a local college. And my thought was like, if she graduates, they're planning on going back to the. How do I make the Edward Katie sign thing? Well, it's an option with StreamYard. Let's see. Wow. Trying to think what it is now. If we let's see. No, I don't want to edit the layout. I want to edit it. No, let's save page. Maybe it's that style. Who's under style? It's under style. It's a preset. Oh, that's interesting. I actually have it set up for rounded corners, but the StreamYard itself is showing square, but YouTube on that screen is showing rounded corners. So if I go like this, I'm assuming that the rounded corners will go away. Of course, there is a delay. There is a thing where it says theme. I have it on bubble, but it also says show display names and show headlines. So if I click show display lines and turn that on, oh, turns them both off. But okay, the headline is something that's separate. Gotcha. But all right, For this one, prompt to set. All right, gotcha. All right, offhand. Yeah, it's like when you get to where you have the little in the corner there where you have the basically all the people along the bottom there. If you hit the three dots, it actually comes up and says, edit name and headline. And then you can turn around and change it that way. So if we and then when you save it, it winds up being changed. Now it says Happy Valley Railroad instead of Happy Valley Hobbies. And also I can also turn that off also. But display names, so if you turn that off, it winds up being it takes them both out. So you can't have the headline without your name. And let's go back to here again. And go back to Hobbies. Hit save and go that way. All right. So that hopefully answers your question. Let's see, go back to here. All right. Oh, hello there, Anthony Dodge. Thank you for coming in. I was so busy answering the question and all that, I didn't see you sneak in. All right, now go to settings. Let's switch over to the other camera. Ta-da. All right. Basically, now on the bridge, I'm aiming to do the outside. And the thing is that offline or off camera, everyone's sort of kind of left off here last time, but I have started to actually cover the other side. And basically that's what I'll be doing on tonight, is doing this side. Didn't quite finish the edge here yet, but one thing I found out that with this one, I didn't get this quite straight, so this is going to wind up being wider than the other ones. So there's a good chance that this is going to be the back side, because it's going to not look the same width as that. So of course, I am assuming that these two are straight. And not realizing that I do not have this quite in this camera pointed in the right spot. There we are. Here I am showing this down here and all that, and it's nowhere near nowhere near this. All right, we'll put this over here. Oh, hello there, Mike. Thank you for coming in. But that's where I was sort of like last week, and supposed to theoretically be sort of like more closer to this side. Then once get both sides done, and then it winds up being basically trimming everything, and then figuring out how to do basically the top ridge. This is going to be easy because it's just going to be basically flat with this. Same thing with the sides here. But if you look at how the tops are, they're actually angles, so the water would, so any rain would drip out to the side. So I got to figure out how to do that. But I'll probably finish this off camera and all that, but we'll start this side. Going to need approximately 4 of these. No, I've misplaced my chopper. Don't find exactly, I'm looking right at the damn thing. Unfortunately, it's buried. The thing is that the chopper plate looks like it's masonite, so it looks like just another another board. These right here are left over from doing the other side. So what we'll do, we'll at least chop up 3 of these. Just making sure we got the right edge. And just pick one of these. Having the chopper, all I would have to do is just set one and then rinse and repeat. But fortunately, do not have that option right now. All right, trim the edge off of these, so at least all that way. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to do it 3 at a time. pull those down. Use this because a lot more contrast on these. All right. Well, thank you for lurking. We'll be asking you what's for dinner and all that, but then it'll require you to be still in the chat. You would not be lurking. One major thing I probably should do before next stream is replace my wax paper. Because it's getting very holy. Ooh. So I have to say I'm sort of having a very small layout and modeling a era that's not really popular. It's that when something new comes out, I don't have to turn around and buy it right away. Things I'm also thinking, usually when I'm thinking Freightliner, I'm usually thinking of what you probably would consider a lorry, not a locomotive, but I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. So I know that I believe there's a rail company in Britain that is called Freightliner. All right, now we can throw in some Barn Red Hunter line weathering mix, just enough to cover everything. And made in Canada, so I'm assuming if I need any more, which let's see, I got about that much left, so yeah, I'm not going to need any weathering mix for a while. And of course, I get it all over myself. That aside for now. And then go through here to let this dry. Now, it's very interesting is that it initially was red. Now it looks brown. One thing I probably forgot to do is, one of the things they do suggest is turn around and shake it. I'd forgotten to do. I keep on forgetting to bring tweezers so I don't have to throw my hands in the dye to, well, get this stuff out. This it sort of kind of makes it look like I'm bleeding a little bit because it's barn red. If I was doing creosote or creosote black or Thai brown, it wouldn't look as disconcerting. Oh, hello there, Dan's Malrarian Journey. I did not see you sneak in. Okay. Separate these so they can dry. Now the advantage of the center portion here, since they're all the same length, you can pretty much cut them all the same length and just put them on. So, and as you can see from the other side, they go, they go up to this line. They don't go up to this one. Eventually, I'm gonna have to see about trimming this down. But I'm gonna wait until everything's in place before start trimming. Start from one side and go to the other. Now, one good thing about also the center is that there's bracing all the way up. So we put this here, and there's bracing all the way at the top. You get over to where it goes down and all that, you get spots where it's not really supported. Okay. Now, from what I understand, these bridges weren't as well. They weren't built as much as a normal covered bridge. This was, I want to say it was a cost-cutting measure because you're using, it seems that you're using a lot less wood, but because it's not fully covered, it also winds up being not lasting as long. And I want to. I'm not sure how. With the light, how much extra lifespan that it added to the bridge. But my assumption, this is my assumption, I could be completely wrong on this, but it would be halfway between a fully covered bridge and an uncovered one. I could be wrong. Maybe it did 75% of the way. My assumption is if it was all right, thank you for coming in, Valleys, and enjoy the pit. Yeah, I put my hands in there. It's like, it looks more like dried blood than fresh blood, but still, it doesn't look pretty. But it looks a lot more natural than if it was creosote, which was, I believe, or blue-gray. That would be like, like, why is your hands a very ungodly color? Red is more natural, but at the same time, it's also scary in a different way. One look makes you look like you need to go to the hospital. The other one's like, yeah, that doesn't look right. I'm going to get fresh glue. Yes, the glue is getting very squishy. Very interesting. It's clear. It's clear glue. I'm assuming white glue would do the same thing. It's actually absorbing the ink, so it's no longer clear. It's now turning red. Which Vermont axe murder? I think there's been a couple. Now the interesting thing is that there are a bunch of covered bridges in the area. Closest one is the Chiselville Bridge, named after the village that it was basically next to and serving. Interestingly, the interesting thing is that Chiselville is no longer there. It was basically around a chisel mill that made chisels. I forgot exactly the name of the company, but they made chisels, and they were powered by, I'm going to the name, It's not Roaring Creek. I don't think it's Roaring Creek, but there is a couple of fast-moving creeks around here that were able to support mills. There's two that I can. There's two that I know of, but I can only remember the name of Roaring Creek. Oh, wait a second, is that in Bennington? But yeah, one no, it's not the Batten Kill. It goes both creeks go into the Batten Kill, but they are not the Batten Kill itself. It looks like I made much too many. The thing is that we can use these long boards for the shorter sections down here. Maybe even use the section, for covering that portion. Got this done right. Winds up being a nice even number of boards. If not, we'll think of something. It's one of the reasons why I didn't stain anything on the inside, because, well, you're going to see it. Alright, looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit of trimming there. At least one board on the other side. Not sure if that's true with the bridge construction of this style. But usually I wind up seeing a lot of the bridges I've seen this side, usually these are sort of like they're not a queen post bridge. They're a regular truss and all that. So this winds up being in between a lot of stuff. So the rolling farm bridge, which I have found, it's a bridge over the. I'm trying to think now. The Boston, Maine, where they have a bridge that it's this. It's a road bridge, this style. It goes over railroad tracks, so it's not a railroad. But the thing is that it shows that it's pretty dilapidated. So my assumption is that you can actually see parts of the boards all off and etc. Ooh, tornadoes. Oh, hello there, Rick's Trains. Thank you for coming in. But I'm not quite sure how to. This way, it's not going to make it. It's not going to make that up a bit. So figure out how to go around that. Try not to get it into the glue. All right. And this thing go straight up. Trim that piece off. Let's see if that. All right, let's try it this way to make sure that's what been trimmed down enough. All right, it's the right width. Now we just got to need the right length. Do the same thing on the bottom to clear that. And something on this side. Did the same thing on the prototype. The board didn't quite fit. Just keep on hacking at it until the board fits. I don't want to look too far. This one like didn't quite go enough down. Let's see if just that bit works. But might turn around and see about getting just to merit at NMRA. Basically, I'm not looking to. This is definitely not going to max out any of the categories. But so I need to go a little bit more off. This white part where we can actually see where we're going. I'm more worried about actually getting this right than the bottom. So the bottom, I'm going to be covering this. So any mistake, if I make a mistake down here, it's not going to really be seen. Let's see how close am I? I would say that's close enough to be good. So let me take this out, add more glue. So you need to stuff some glue underneath that. Or letters, how's the wife doing? I hope she is cheerful. All right, thank you, Dan. So, well, I do have other bridges. One is a standard queen post bridge. The other one is a queen post covered bridge, which this is the kit that I wound up getting most of the parts for. Except so far, there's only one part, which is I think it's a 12x6 that I had to buy some more of. Other than that, it's a 100-line covered bridge kit. One thing I would have to let Rick know is that adding the inside walls actually narrows the thing. So ooh, that is good to know that it's less than. It's always good to know that something is less than what you thought it was. Okay, now I guess let's see what we can do on this side. This side's pretty solid. Yeah, this one, as you can see, it's not square. And so you gotta figure out how to re-square it, basically. Let's say we grab one of these. Now I'm trying to think. I think it's PK and W for Sidetrack Sunday tonight. Because they had to rearrange the scheduling because of Mr. Skokill is doing his yearly taxes thing. Throw that in there. here. Yeah, it's when you're in the business of doing something, sort of know the ins and outs of stuff. One of the channels I watch every now and then is called Lateral Highlight with Tom Scott, and it's sort of a quiz show that you have usually you have very well-known YouTubers on it. I guess technically, if I could get on it myself, but I have an odd feeling it went because you're being promoted and all that. You wind up probably having to pay to be promoted. So I'm assuming it's not a free thing. Because normally what they have on there is usually all the different, I want to say the maker / educational ones that are on there. Technology Connections has been on there. Adam Ragusia, which is a cooking channel, has been on there. And I remember him because someone said da 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 da, and then he's like, "Well, according to Google, according to Wikipedia," it's like, "No, you're not supposed to do that." He's like, "Ooh, sorry." Obviously, never watched the show before he got onto it, so. Now, that goes there. That's about the same length. Might be a little bit short. But usually they do a lot of things of do things they call it lateral because the thinking sometimes is supposed to be lateral to the point where it's not easy to get to point A to point B. You have to go through C, D, and E. And there was one that came up today which had to do with a woman had to turn around and she took a pair of old eyeglasses, took the one lens out, including, I guess, the bottom portion of it, and every now and then has to flip the glasses upside down. And I'm thinking, like, okay, it's like, I used to make eyeglasses. I have no idea what this woman is doing. And, okay, it looks like I don't have to trim anything on the bottom, but we still have to trim more stuff on the top. It's too wide. And after a while, and the thing is that the other, there's 4 people, the other 3 sort of took it out because one turns around and asks the question, and after a while trying to figure out exactly what's going on, it had to do with something that she was doing very close-up work on. Somebody turned around and said, just like, "Oh, is she doing surgery on her own eye?" It's like, and it's like, well, not exactly surgery, but you're in the ballpark. It's like, you get sort of hot, cold eyes answers sometimes. It's like, well, you're getting close, you're going the wrong direction. But eventually they figured out that she was using it so she can put her makeup on, because she could not see without her glasses. So what she was doing was using the glasses. Let's see. It's a little tight, but it'll work. So we do have to trim the bottom a little bit. So she got it. So she took an old pair of glasses that still had her prescription, and I'm assuming her prescription was good enough or close enough to be the same, that she was able to flip the glasses over and still relatively see well enough that she can do the, put the mascara on the other eye. Okay, got that. And actually, from what I understand, one of my coworkers is a former, not nurse, but somebody that worked in nursing homes. And so that's some of the medical skill that she has. And she sort of kind of wants to get back into it. So the job right now is a temporary one for her. And another coworker used to work on cars, and I get the impression that they want to get back in doing that. Let's see, this needs to trim just a little bit more. But years ago, I used to make eyeglasses, so I'm like, oh, I got this one, and I'm like, no, I have no idea. And it's like, no. Oh, that makes perfect sense. As far as I know, they never really offered them as a commercial product. Okay, that fits nicely. We can use that as a template for the other side. Now, let me double check the time. All right, 7:48. So basically, once I get this last board in, I'll let people go to, I think it's PKNW, I guess, is on Sidetrack Sunday tonight. So, all right. Ooh, we can actually cut that completely off. That's right up against the board. Get it deep enough. I think it's deep enough. Straight out. And then this. It's not as far. Close. Want to snap that off. Get a little bit more clearance. And start with a very small strip. And I was gonna say that looks like close enough to use another. Let's see if I can squeeze off another scale inch. Maybe the thickness of the blade. Now, how does that fit? You shouldn't theoretically be too worried about the fit because this will be covered up. All right. Let's glue them in. I just happened to realize something. I just realized that might have to trim. Have to trim some of this. Oh, looks like I got. Do I? I got that in. And sliver off of this again. Or not again, but this side. Oh, there, Randall. Thank you for coming in. I would have to say I'm in the process of wrapping it up. So we can do Sidetrack Sunday, which I believe is PK and W tonight. So I'm not quite sure what his plans are for his thing tonight. Got that in. So, right now, probably what I'll wind up doing offline is finishing up the ends here and going from there. All right, now to switch over cameras. Watch for the bouncing camera. Back to this camera. So, unfortunately, apparently I only gave you 3 minutes to do what you need to do. Storm us on TV. Well, hopefully you're nowhere near the storm. So, well, thanks for everyone for coming. Looks like we've not quite sure exactly how many we have, but it looks like we have only 5 now. But I believe there was a lot more during the stream itself. But yes, you are very welcome, Andy, and everybody else. So thank you for watching my shenanigans, and we'll see you next week. I might surprise people and do a midday stream. Don't know. I've been every time I get in the mood for it, and all of a sudden something happens and it doesn't happen. So it's not a guarantee, but hey, it might show up. All right. Take care, everybody. And I believe that the world needs more love. So find your passion, add some silliness to it, and spread it around. Bye, everyone.